Pleased to be joined by Brady Tkachuk. And listen, at this time last year, it was, Matthew Tkachuk watching the Brady Tkachuk drama. How much were you either involved in, paying attention to, amused by the Matthew Tkachuk drama this offseason?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I feel like it was around a year ago today where he came on with you guys and stirred the pot a little bit.
Right. And we still thank him to this day.
Yeah, no, that was... it was almost funny right away, but then I was like, okay, this kid caught. No, but it ended up all working out. But yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, this summer was definitely crazy for him and a whirlwind, and just to see it happen, kind of being there for when it did, it was pretty surreal, and it just see his happiness telling us, and it was awesome.
Just to rewind really quickly to a year ago when he came, we were in Chicago for the Players Tour, and your brother was on with us, and when he started talking about when you're negotiating with one Tkachuk, you're negotiating with all the Tkachuks and everything that he said. What went through your mind when you first heard that?
Yeah, no, it's of course he's always been supportive, and of course on my side with everything. But just when it came to the negotiations, it all came down to my decision, and of course they give advice and stuff like that and different perspectives. But I wanted to be here long term, and that's why I signed here for 7 years, and it's just what I wanted. So, of course, always appreciated him and my dad's advice, and but at the end of the day, they allowed me to make my own decision too.
Brady, as you mentioned, your family, including your mom and your sister, you guys know sports and you guys know business, and you're still young. But are there other NHL players who ask you your advice just because of how knowledgeable your family is about it, and say, what would you guys do in this situation, or what do you think about this situation? Yeah,
there's been a couple, close buddies who, have talked to either Matthew or I, just kind of, what they think, and but it's just more being there for them as a friend and going through whatever options they had and see what's best for them and what sets them up for, that next contract, that next deal, and whether it's a time frame and stuff like that. So, but I don't think it's more to try to, pick my brain about it. It's just I want to be there for them as a friend, and it's life-changing when you sign one of those deals. So just to be able to almost have, not a part, but to be there for almost their decision process, it's pretty cool, and it's nice to share that memories with some of my buddies.
What's the best advice you've ever received from anyone in your family?
Well, just in general, my dad grew up watching just more about hockey and the game itself. Just be the hardest worker and be a good teammate, and if you do that, you'll be successful. So That's probably the best advice I've gotten.
It might sound like a weird question because you've just grown up like in hockey, like surrounded by hockey. But at what point, because you're real smart, your brother is real smart, your dad, your mom, like as Elliotte mentioned, your sister, like your whole family understands. When did you first start to get it? Like the business side, and even just from a hockey point of view, how to maneuver in a salary cap, and a maneuver in an area where you're a restricted free agent with not a lot of movement rights, but still able to get yourselves into positions to get big deals. Like, at what point did you just take an interest in the business of it and really start to get a handle on it?
Yeah, no, it was going into it, I was more excited for the process of going through my first negotiation and stuff like that. But as the summer went on, it became more aggravating, but the excitement went away, and that's when I started figuring out, okay, this is the business, and now with that, it's you want to set yourself up and your future family and your future life, and but also if you sign the best deal possible, you're potentially helping out the guy next to you, and when they negotiate for their contract and all the comparables and all that different type of stuff. So now when I sign that, it's down the road, hopefully it helps another person in that situation too.
You're the captain of this team. I'm always curious, as we went into a huge summer for the Senators, how much did you know about what was going to happen? How much did they tell you about this is going to be our plan?
I didn't know like the full details. I knew that this is there's going to be a big change and personnel. So, but as the summer went on and as we got closer to free agency, it was more guys that they're looking at. But didn't really know the official word until right before it was announced. A little heads up, but at the start of the summer, they didn't say, we're going after this, this, and this. It's just as they started getting close to being final, that's when they'd, let me know just to, give a heads up. So, no, it was appreciative, but I feel like for 2 weeks, there's a lot going on. So I feel like the phone was getting a lot of notifications during then.
Did they ask you your opinion on anyone in particular?
No, just it's. I think just have you anybody who knows them and have you heard anything about certain guys? But
okay, so that's what I wanted. Whose name came across your phone that you were like, oh,
yeah. Well, just go with the guys on our team. It's of course you just name the three, and if anything, I was just saying, met those guys, and Talbot's played with Matthew, so of course got a really good review there. So they really enjoyed being together. So it was just of course all great things, and just seeing them now in person, they're even better people than expected. So it's already been fun to hang out with them.
So how long before the DeBrincat deal went down did you know about it? Was it a couple of minutes? Was it?
I was actually in Greece, so I had no clue about it until the next morning because of the time change. So I was already asleep, couldn't stay up for the draft. It was too late. So
wait. Do you expect me to buy that a Tkachuk couldn't stay up late to be up in the middle of the night still?
This is new breed.
It was
Tkachuk.
a good day. It was a good day. So we didn't push the limits too far in the night because we had a good time.
What did you think when you saw that, like on your phone? Whoa, DeBrincat.
At first I thought it was a burner account, but then I tapped into it. It was our official team account. I was like, oh, that's pretty surreal, pretty sweet, and just to get a guy like that, and everybody knows the way he plays, but how good of a guy he is. It's we're definitely very lucky.
There's been a lot of debate about should the word playoffs be uttered. As captain, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I think we don't really need to add that extra added pressure from the outside. It's I feel like that just creates almost a distraction if we're putting that name out or putting that word out there and trying to create that pressure from everybody else. But no, we're confident as a group. We're confident to take that next step, and we want to prove to everybody that we're ready for what's to come. And but I don't think we need to say, oh, we'll make it or not. Just I think that we're just ready for the next step.
Final one for me is, what was the best text or message you got from anyone when you were out in Calgary last year in the playoffs?
Just a screenshot of the picture at the beers in the back pocket. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, what can I do now? So I captured it. I was like, all right, it looks like just going to enjoy the game now. So that was probably the best text I got.
Who was it from?
There's multiple people who text me that. And then I saw a couple tweets about it. I was like, okay, people think it's funny. So I was like, well, I'm just here to support Matthew. That's pretty much the only reason why I'm doing it. So that's all I care about was Matthew. He's like, no, I loved it. So
It was awesome. Speaking of Matthew, last question here. Scale of 1 to 10, how much you looking forward to playing the Panthers?
Yeah, it's probably a 10, but it's not going to be as fun now. It's going to be all business. Those are big points, big divisional games, but it's going to be different. It's going to be an adjustment, but we're both treating it as those 10s, the excitement just to see him, and it's going to be more family coming down now since it's probably easier to get to, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Tkachuk's in the same time zone. Look out.
Oh boy.
Thanks so much for this. Good luck this season.
Thank you guys.